with NIM 44240428 and this topic of why we must learn English. I am the host
And my name is Musdalifah with NIM 44240317 as guest speaker.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to our academic talk show. I am your host Alia Zahwa and today we are diving into a crucial topic. We will discuss why university students must master English. Joining us is the expert in higher education pedagogy, Musdalifah. Welcome Musdalifah.
Thank you, Alia. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
To start our discussion, let's look at the university's ecosystem. So far many students feel their native language is enough for college. Musdalifah, why exactly is English so vital within higher education itself?
That is a fundamental question, Alia. The really is that English in the global language friends of academia. If you look at the academic journals, the dominance of English is overwhelming. According to a comprehensive study by Dr. Christine Montgomery in her book, The Language of Science, over 90% of indexed article journals in science and humanities are published in English.
Wow, 90% is a massive number. What happened to students who struggle with their language?
They face a severe disadvantage. A research article published in the Journal of English for Academic Purpose by Flower Dew highlights this exact issue. Students with low English proficiency experience cognitive overload. They spend more time translating words than analyzing the actual sense concept. Therefore, mastering English is not just an extra skill, it is a primary tool for critical thinking and acquiring cutting-edge knowledge.
That makes perfect sense. If you cannot read the latest research, you are learning outdated material. Now let's move beyond the classroom. A student eventually graduate and enter the job market. How does English proficiency impact their future career?
The career impact is a direct and quantifiable area. In a globalist economy, multinational companies look for cross-border competitions. A landmark report published by the Cambridge English Research Notes track global employment trends over 5 years. Their data explicitly show that bilingual employees with high English proficiency earn up to 30% higher starting salaries compared to their monolingual peers.
A 30% salary premium is highly significant to fresh graduate. Is it just about the money or are there other rationale there?
Goes deeper into corporate mobility. In his book, The Expansive Workforce, sociologist Dr. Robert Philipson argues that English acts as a gatekeeper for leadership roles. Major corporations utilize English as their official corporate language, even in non-English speaking countries. If a graduate cannot present a business proposal of negotiation in English, their career trajectory is selling very early on.
Okay, well, so it is literally a tool for professional survival and growth. That brings me to our third angle, global communication and technology. We live in a digital era driven by artificial intelligence and big data. What role does English play here?
Technology and English are deeply intertwined. Let us look at the data regarding internet infrastructure. According to W3Tech's Web Technology Surveys, more than 50% of the most visited websites globally use English as their primary content language. If you look at computer science and AI development, the gap is even wider.
So it seems our major coding language and tech documentations are in English too, right?
Exactly. Research paper from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT) Press underlines that global collaboration in technology relies entirely on shared linguistic protocols. Software engineers, data analysts, and tech innovators share open source codes on platforms like GitHub using English. Without English, a tech student is completely isolated from the global development community. They cannot participate in international invitation.
Okay, from what you have explained, it is clear that avoiding English is no longer an option. Its impact academic success, career earnings, and digital literacy. What is your final message or recommendation for university students watching us today?
My recommendation is to view English not as a dry academic subject to pass, but as an operation system for your mind. A study by the British Council on Global Education conclude that students who actively practice English for just 30 minutes a day outside their curriculum show a 40% high adaptive rate in international environments. Invest time in now because the academic and professional divides are immense.
Fascinating data and insight. Thank you so much, Ms. Darifa, for sharing this evidence-based perspective with us today. It has been incredibly eye-opening.
You're very welcome, Alia. Thank you for having me.
And thank you to our audition. Remember, learn English is an investment in your own future global success. See you in the next episode.
Hello everyone, my name is Musdalifa with NIM 44240317. In this topic of smoking on campus area, I am the host and
I'm Alia Zahwa with NIM 44240428 as guest speaker.
hello everyone, welcome back to our podcast. Today we're going to discuss an interesting and controversial topic: should smoking be allowed on campus? Many universities still debate this issue because smoking can affect both smokers and non-smokers. To discuss this topic, we have our guest speaker here today. Welcome to Alia Zahwa.
Hello everyone, my name is Alizawa and thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here and share my opinion.
Great, let's start with the first questions. Some people believe that smoking should be allowed on campus. Why do you think they have this opinion?
Well, there are several reasons. First, some students consider smoking area personal right now, but they believe that as an adult, university students should have the freedom to decide whether they want to smoke or not. Second, smoking can help some people relax or reduce stress, especially during exams or when they have so many excitements. Because of that, some students think campus should provide especially smoking areas instead of completely banning smoking.
That's an interesting point. So, from their perspective, providing a designated smoking area could be a solution. However, many people strongly disagree and believe that smoking should not be allowed on campus. What do you think about this opinion?
Okay, I personally agree that smoking should not be allowed in most campus areas. This main reason is health. Cigarette smoke doesn't only affect smokers but also people around them. Passive smokers can suffer from health problems such as breathing difficult and even serious disease in the long term. Another reason is that campus should be a healthy and comfortable place for learning. If students smoke everywhere, it can create an unpleasant environment and make non-smokers feel uncomfortable.
That's true. Many students might want to study in a clean and healthy environment. Besides health issues, does smoking also affect the academic atmosphere?
Yes, it does. The smell of cigarette smoke can disturb students during classes or discussions. In some cases, students may leave class to smoke, causing them to miss important information from the class. Moreover, if smoking becomes common on campus, new students might think that smoking is a normal or acceptable habit. This could increase the number of young smokers in the future.
I see, so smoking can influence not only health but also the learning environment and student behavior. If you had to suggest a solution, what should it be?
I think universities should create strict non-smoking policies in most campus area. If necessary, they can provide a small designated smoking area that is far from classroom and public spaces too. At the same time, campus should educate students about the danger of smoking and encourage healthier ways to deal with stress, such as exercising, joining clubs, or talking to friends.
That's a brilliant solution. Before we end this discussion, could you give us your final opinion?
Of course, I can. In my opinion, while smoking is a personal choice, campus should prioritize the health and comfort of all students. Therefore, smoking should be restricted or prohibited in most campus areas to create a better academic environment.
Okay, thank you for sharing your talk with us today, Alia. And thank you to all our listeners for joining this discussion about smoking on campus. We hope this conversation helps you think more critically about the impacts of smoking on students and the academic environment. See you in our next podcast. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.